Right now, you're watching this video. You can feel yourself sitting there. Maybe you're on your phone, maybe at your desk. You know you're you. There's someone behind your eyes, experiencing this moment, right? But here's the problem. Buddhism doesn't deny experience. It questions the owner. The me that feels solid and constant turns out to be constructed. The person you think you are doesn't exist the way you think it does. So if there's no permanent self, who the hell is watching this video? And I'm not asking philosophically, I mean literally, who is watching? By the end of this video, you're either going to think I've lost my mind, or you're going to see yourself in a way you never have before. Either way, things are about to get interesting. Let's find out who you really are. The memory trick. Are you still that child? Let's start with something simple. Think about your earliest memory. Got one? Maybe you're 5 years old, maybe younger. You remember where you were, what happened, how it felt? My question, who remembered that? You did, right? Same person who's watching this video. That memory happened 20, 30 years ago, but you remember it. That's proof of a self-continuity across time. You're the thread connecting past to present to future. Except something strange happens when you look closer. That kid you're remembering, they had completely different thoughts than you. Different fears, different dreams. If you could talk to 5-year-old you, they wouldn't recognize the person you've become. Your values have shifted. Your knowledge expanded. Everything changed. Which one is the real you? Most people say both. It's all you at different times. Like a movie with the same main character. The character changes, grows, learns. But it's still the same character, right? Consider this. In the Milinda Panya, an ancient Buddhist text, King Milinda asks a monk named Nagasena, when a person is reborn, are they the same person or a different person? Nagasena gives him a brilliant answer. He asks, if you light a candle and then use that flame to light a second candle, is the second flame the same as the first? The king thinks about it. Same fire, but different candle. Not the same flame, not completely different either. Exactly, Nagasena says. The person reborn is neither the same nor different. Then Nagasena asks about the king's chariot. Is it the wheels, the axle, the yoke, the frame? The king says no to each part. Then where's the chariot? There is no chariot apart from the parts. Person is what we call the bundle of aggregates, doing their thing, and you don't even need to wait for rebirth. You're not the same person who started watching this video 3 minutes ago. You've had new thoughts since then, new experiences. Most of your body is in constant turnover, skin, gut, blood, while some tissues, like many neurons, can last decades. When you remember being a kid, you're not accessing your past. You're accessing information in a brain that used to belong to someone else, someone who happened to have your name. Consider people with dementia. They lose their memories and everyone says they're not themselves anymore. Without memories, the person is gone. If losing memories means losing yourself, then who are you when you're asleep? The vanishing act. Where do you go every night? Every night something strange happens. You vanish for maybe 2 or 3 hours. You're in deep sleep. No dreams, no awareness, no you, nothing. Where were you? Well, I was asleep. My body was there, my brain was there. I wasn't conscious, right? You weren't conscious. The self vanished completely. If the self is this continuous, permanent thing, it should be there whether you're aware of it or not. But it's not. For hours, every night, you disappear. And you might say, well, I'm still there, not aware. But that's the problem. If you're defining the self as awareness, as consciousness, as the experiencer, then when there's no experience happening, there's no self. Under general anesthesia, it's a clean cut. 10, 9, 8. Wake. No time, no witness. Those hours weren't experienced, So from your perspective, they never occurred. Your self disappeared during surgery. It was paused. You might say, like pressing pause on a video. Consider, a video doesn't know it's paused. When you press play again, the video didn't experience time stopping. It continues. Same with you waking up from anesthesia. You feel like the same person, but that's because your memory picks up where it left off. In 1848, a railroad worker named Phineas Gage had an iron rod blast through his skull. It destroyed part of his frontal lobe. He survived, then showed pronounced changes in impulse control and social behavior. Friends said, he's no longer the same Gage, same body, same memory, same name, but different self. Or was it? If you change someone's brain, do you change who they are? Or do you destroy who they were and create someone new? Every night when you go to sleep, your consciousness turns off. Every morning when you wake up, it turns back on. And you trust. You assume that the person waking up is the same person who fell asleep. But it can feel as if you die every night, and a new you wakes up with your memories, convinced they've always been you. How would you know the difference? The search party, looking everywhere for the self, all right. Let's settle this. Let's find the self. If it exists, it's gotta be somewhere. Is it your body? Can't be. You can lose a limb and still be you. People lose arms, legs, organs. Still the same person. The self isn't the body. Is it your brain? Closer, but which part? Damage the hippocampus. You lose the ability to form new memories. Damage the amygdala. Your emotions change. Damage the prefrontal cortex. Your personality shifts. We can't point at the self in the brain. At this moment, you're thinking about the self. 5 seconds from now, you'll think about dinner. If the self is your thoughts, then you're a different person every time your mind wanders. Plus, you can watch your thoughts. Notice your thinking. Who's noticing? If you're watching your thoughts, you can't be your thoughts. The watcher and the watched can't be the same thing. Same problem with emotions. Happy, sad, angry, calm. If the self is your emotions, then you're a new person every mood swing. And again, you can observe your feelings. I feel angry. Who's observing the anger? We've covered memories. Each recall rewrites the past. It's a draft, not a vault. Take a breath. We've eliminated the body, the brain, thoughts, feelings, and memories. You'd think we'd be running out of places to look. In the Anattalakkhana Sutta, the Buddha's second sermon after enlightenment, he asked 5 monks to examine their experience. He said, "Is form permanent or impermanent?" "Impermanent," they answered. "Is feeling permanent or impermanent?" "Impermanent." He went through everything. Body, feelings, perceptions, thoughts, consciousness. All impermanent, all changing. Then he asked the big question, if something is impermanent, constantly changing, subject to arising and passing away, is it worthy of being called self? Silence. Because if the self is permanent, unchanging, and continuous, then nothing we can point to qualifies. We've looked everywhere and we can't find it, which means either the self is hiding somewhere really clever, or the Buddha was onto something. The flow, not the thing. Understanding the 5 aggregates. Here's what the Buddha figured out, and this is going to sound insane at first, but stay with me. There is experience. There is awareness. There are thoughts, feelings, sensations happening, but there's no permanent owner of those experiences, no unchanging self having them. Like film at 24 frames per second, still frames stitched into motion. Self feels solid because moments stitch into a main character. Thoughts are flowing, feelings are flowing, sensations are flowing, consciousness is appearing and disappearing. You call it me, but there's no me thing. There's only process happening. The Buddha broke this down into 5 categories called the 5 aggregates, or khandhas. We've explored these fully in a separate video. Check the card on screen, but let me give you the 20 seconds version. Form, feeling, perception, mental formations, and consciousness. Every experience you have falls into one of these 5 categories, and the key, none of them are permanent. All of them are constantly changing, arising, and passing away, moment by moment. If the self is supposed to be permanent, unchanging, continuous, and everything we experience is impermanent, changing, discontinuous, then the self doesn't exist in the way we think it does. The Buddha didn't say there's no experience. He didn't say you don't exist at all. He said the self you think you are, the solid, permanent, unchanging me, that's the illusion. Your sense of self works like those film frames, moments of experience arising so quickly, one after another, that your brain strings them together into a narrative. This is me. I've always been me. I'll always be me. But it's not a thing. It's a story, and stories aren't real. They're constructed. In neuroscience, they call this the narrative self. Your brain is a storytelling machine. It takes disconnected moments, sensations, memories, thoughts, and weaves them into a coherent story with you as the main character. But who's writing the story? Nobody. The story writes itself, moment by moment. Your brain generates a sense of continuity where none exists. You feel like the same person you were yesterday because your brain tells you a story about being that person. But peel back the story, and there's only this experience happening. No experiencer, now. Right now. Sense the I'm the watcher feeling. Where is it in the body? Maybe subtle pressure behind the eyes, a hush in the chest. If it can be noticed, it isn't final. Seeing doesn't need a seer, and before you think this is some abstract philosophy with no real-world impact, consider this. Every time you suffer, it's because you believe in a self. You believe there's a you that can be threatened, insulted, rejected, failed. You defend this self, protect it, try to make it better, stronger, more successful. But if there's no fixed self, what are you protecting? The liberation, freedom from the illusion of self. If there's no self, what are you? You're not a thing, you're a process, a verb in continuous motion, awareness, creating itself moment by moment into what you call you. And why does this matter? If there's no fixed self, you can change, not in the motivational speaker version where you can be anyone you want to be. This goes deeper. There's no permanent you to change. There are patterns, habits, stories, and patterns can shift. People say, that's who I am. But who? The one watching this video? The one who watched the beginning? The one who will exist tomorrow? All different. Which one is who you are? When you realize there's no fixed self, you realize there's nothing to defend. Someone insults you. They insulted a story, not a thing. You fail at something. A pattern failed, not a permanent you. The Buddha taught that clinging to the idea of self is the root of suffering. In Pali, it's called atta, the belief in a permanent, independent self. And that belief creates suffering. Defend the self. Upgrade the self. Fear the loss of the self. 3 engines of stress fueled by a story. But if there's no self to begin with, what's there to lose? Now, no fixed owner doesn't cancel responsibility. Intentions still leave tracks. Change the groove of intention, and the music of your life changes with it. Buddhism calls this karma, not cosmic judgment, but momentum. Change intentions, change trajectories, and as the me softens, care scales up. Not self, shrink self-concern, not compassion, social anxiety. You walk into a room full of people and you're terrified. Why? Because you believe there's a self that can be judged. A you that people will evaluate, reject, laugh at. But if there's no fixed self, what are they judging? A story you're telling about yourself. Let them. Stories change. Imagine living without constantly defending, improving, or worrying about losing yourself. No more, what will people think of me? Because there's no me to think about. Experience happening. This is freedom. The Buddha called this realization anatta, not self. And he said, it's one of the 3 marks of existence, along with impermanence and suffering. Everything is impermanent. Everything that's impermanent leads to suffering when we cling to it. And nothing has a permanent self. Understand that. And you're free. Freedom from the illusion that there's a separate permanent you that needs protecting. Who's watching? The final answer, we come back to the original question. If there's no self, who's watching this video? The answer, watching is happening. Awareness is happening. Experience is happening. But there's no separate watcher behind it. There's only this, the seeing, the hearing, the thinking, all arising on its own. You are the process of awareness, not the owner of it. And that sounds abstract until you test it. Try to find the one who's watching. Look for the person behind your eyes, the thinker behind your thoughts, the awareness behind your awareness. You won't find it because it was never there. You've been looking for something that doesn't exist, while the thing you actually are, the flowing, changing, experiencing process, has been here the whole time. The Buddha didn't teach this to make you feel empty or meaningless. He taught it to show you what freedom actually is. Freedom from the suffering of believing you're a separate self that needs defending. In the Bahia Sutta, the Buddha said, "In the seen, there is only the seen. In the cognized, only the cognized." No separate you experiencing these things. Experience experiencing itself. Who's watching this video? Nobody. Watching is. Let that be enough. And notice what loosens. What this means for you. If your brain hurts, good. That means you're thinking. Drop a comment and tell me, did this blow your mind or did I completely lose you? And if you want more videos that make you question everything, hit subscribe because next week, we're going even deeper. See you then.